Hello everyone, it's Joe Jeffman Jr. and today it's my 1 year anniversary. Also expect shorter videos than long ones because my video on my camera on my laptop keeps lagging and freezing sometimes. And just stays there for a couple of seconds and just shuts off. So if it just abruptly ends, don't blame me. So what I want to do is explain why I like Thomas and Friends, Bob the Builder, Fireman Sam, Post and Pat, Naughty's Toyland Adventures, and Pingu, and not Teen Titans Go, Thundercats Roar, Rise of the TMNT, Powerpuff Girls, and Ben 10. So the first thing is that those shows on the right, those shows on the left right here, their lessons are subtle. And they're actually entertaining with good stories, decently written, with interesting concepts, characters, and original jokes. And another thing is that the shows on the right don't. I mean, like for Thundercats Roar, in the original Thundercats, they were actually fighting crime most of the time. Whereas here, they're mainly just going through average adventures, like the big strong one is duped into marrying one of the villains. Well, I don't think so. And plus, those are not decently written. Like Teen Titans Go, most of that is just something that was probably written back in the 80s and just translated into modern day. Plus, why the shows on the left are good is because they're made using real life models. Thomas and Friends was made with real life models with hints of live action model animation with hints of stop motion, whereas the rest of these are stop motion. Well, until Thomas, Bob, and Fireman Sam, as well as Naughty, all became CGI, and those are the ones people remember, not the original, and I hate that. These, however, were always animated in CGI, or maybe a mix of CGI and cell animation for Thundercats Roar. Well, these shows right here have no plot whatsoever. These actually have plots about the everyday adventures of Thomas and his friends, or Bob and Wendy, or Fireman Sam and the Pontypandy Fire Service, or Postman Pat delivering letters, or Naughty and his friends getting up to the cool adventures, or Pingu the penguin learning about life. People claim that these aren't animated cartoons like they are now, but instead claymotions made back in the 60s, which I say, that's why they're good. And most of these were made about in like the 80s and the 90s. These were made in the 2010s. Another thing is that in these ones, they only had 1, 2, or 3 people doing all the voices. Like the narrators and Thomas and Friends, like George Carlin, Alec Baldwin, Michael Brandon, Ringo Starr, Michael Angelis, and Ringo Ghost, and Pierce Brosnan. Or Neil Mosley, Rob Rackstraw, and Kay Harbor for Bob the Builder, or John Alderton, Joanna Reitz, I think, Sarah Hadland, and John Sparks for Fireman Sam. John Alderton voices all the characters in the first 4 seasons, and the other 3 do all the characters in the 5th one. Ken Barry and Carol Boyd in Post and Pat. In seasons 3 to 8, there's more voice actors, but still. Or Jimmy Heber and Susan Sheridan for Naughty, and Carl Bonamy for Pingu. Well, Thomas, Naughty, and Pingu still have charm in them. For Thomas, they're still charmed despite seasons 25 to 26. And for Bob the Builder, Fireman Sam, and Post and Pat, well, they've gone downhill. Fireman Sam since, it became CGI in 2008. But the 6th season was okay. For Bob the Builder, was its CGI reboot in 2015. And for Post and Pat, since Special Delivery Service replaced the original one, 2008 as well. But still, they also replaced Pat's voice from Ken Barry to Lewis MacLeod. And throughout the show's first 5 seasons, they lost characters like Rain Giant, Miss Hubbard, George Lancaster, Major Forbes, Peter Fogg, Sam Waldron, Katie and Tom, Mrs. Podge, and Mr. Pringle. For the first 6, it was after season 2, but for the other 4, it was after season 5. But still, Barry was still in the SAS's first season as most of his other characters, Ted Glenn, the Handyman, Farmer Alf Thompson, PCR for Selby, and the Reverend Peter Timms. But after that, Barry left entirely, and MacLeod, Bradley Clarkson, and Dan Mello took over the rest of his characters, while Carol Boyd and the rest of the voice actors and actresses are still involved to this day. But the big difference is that these have already ended. Thomas is still going, and of course we're going to get Thomas the Emoji Cell animated engine later this year, and probably into 2022. Also, after everything about season 25-26 has been released, I will do a video explaining each era and what I think. And after that, I'll review all the specials. But I probably won't do one on Magic Railroad since it wasn't good. I mean, like, oh, Thomas's voice actor John Bellis sounds too old, or Diesel 10's voice is wrong, or James and Percy don't sound convincing, and P.T. Boomer, the original main villain, who was actually the one that trashed not Diesel 10, was like, oh, he's so scary, woo! Look, if I saw him in theaters, I would be way less scared than when I saw Judge Doom on Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I think that was Christopher Lloyd's first role as not a sidekick or comic relief, but rather a serious villain. And, but I managed to get the director's cut leak. After 20 years of wanting to restore the magic by getting the director's cut that was actually good, we finally have it on both Blu-ray and the leak. Mission accomplished. And I'll probably do its own. I'll probably just do a review for it within my review of the first 7 seasons by the Britt Allcroft Company / Ghislaine. Because of Magic Hero's failure, Britt Allcroft resigned from head of the Britt Allcroft Company and renamed it to Ghislaine Entertainment, and did seasons 6 and 7, which were pretty good. But still, enough about that. So, yeah. Also, the films will be in each era, like, for example, the Classics era Part 1 will have the Magic Railroad in the thing, whereas after I do, like, all the eras, then I'll do the specials. Like, for the Classic era Part 2 for seasons 8 to 12, I'll do Calling All Engines and The Great Discovery. Then for the Miller era, from 2009 to 2012, I'll do Mission Rescue Today the Diesels. I don't really consider Hero of the Rails to be a part of the Miller era since that was written by around season 12 and made and was finished by the time of season 13. So that'll probably be well, it'll still be with the Miller era just because it's pretty close to it. It was also the last Thomas production made from 2000 to 2009, what I consider to be the best decade of the world. And season 13 to onwards remain in the 2010s. Then the final season of Bubba and Thomas the Emoji Engine will be in this decade, the 2020s. So yeah. Then King of the Railway to Journeybound Total will be the time with the Brenner era review. Then I'll do the Big World Big Adventures film and the 30-minute double length episodes for the Bubba Jam-filled era. Then the 4-hour-long specials for the Nevea Emoji Cell animated era of Thomas. So that's just some ground rules. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye. Stay safe, everyone. And like and subscribe, and stay safe, and peace out.